everything is a fucking distraction. But from what? What is it a distraction from, exactly? You know, when you're going on your phone, when you're scrolling social media, when you just feel distracted, what are you actually being distracted from? Now, the most cliche answer you're going to get is your dreams, right? Your goals, your vision, you know, building a business, you know, living your dream life, improving yourself, etc. All, you know, fairly decent answers. But let's get more clear. Let's get more practical. Let's actually get more real of like what actually it is you're being distracted from, what you're actually missing out on. Because the reason I've been distracted so much in the past, and I'm guessing you are, is because you almost don't know what you're missing out on. And you actually don't really have much better to do in that moment when you're being distracted. You know, when you're scrolling on your phone, it's not super clear in your head and in your emotions that there's much better to do in that moment than scroll your phone. Right? You almost don't think there is much better to do in that moment. And that's why you go to your phone. There's actually, this is pretty important because, you know, phone use and social media is an addiction. Even if it's a low level addiction, could be a high level addiction. But the thing I'm trying to say is basically what they realized about addiction is that it wasn't just physical dependency, and it wasn't just kind of caused by like trauma and wanting to kind of escape pain, but it was also, but one of the causes was the people with the addictions had nothing better to do. And so when they would try to quit, what would they do? They'd just sit around. And they wouldn't do much else. And so it was a lot harder to quit because, again, they had nothing better to do. If you've got nothing better to do, then you're going to go and you're going to smoke the crack or smoke weed or whatever, drink alcohol, take coke, whatever it is, right? You're going to do the addiction if you've got nothing better to do. Even if you do have things better to do, it's going to be hard. But especially if you have nothing better to do. Now, why is this important when it comes to distractions? Well, what are you distracted from? You're distracted from living a really enjoyable life, living a meaningful life, and living a life that is profound. A life where you're like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, wow. How is this even possible? Just that recognition alone is what you're distracted from. Think about it. You exist, my guy. You exist. There is something rather than nothing. For a second, don't take that for granted. There is something, and you're experiencing it right now. You're watching this video. You exist. How the hell? How the fuck is that possible? Right? So one of the things you're being distracted from is just the profundity, the mysterious, just miracle of this moment right now without anything else going on. Just this mundane, boring moment in front of us where nothing, you know, too extravagant, I can't even speak, where nothing too extravagant, extraordinary is going on. This moment is profound. So that's one thing that you're being distracted from. The other thing is you're being distracted from really enjoying your life. Like really enjoying it. Doing things you genuinely enjoy. Building skill in things you genuinely enjoy. Mastering the things that you genuinely enjoy. That's what you're being distracted from. Another way to put that is following your passions. Picking up your hobbies. Taking your hobbies seriously. Doing them as much as you can. Getting really, really good at the things you enjoy so that you can enjoy them even more. Pursuing greatness in your passions. That's another thing you're being distracted from. And then the other thing you're being distracted from is living a meaningful life. Like, you're already going to get so much meaning from the other two. noticing how profound and mysterious and what a miracle this moment is, pursuing your passions at a high level, both of those things are going to bring a lot of meaning in your life. But the other way you're going to bring a lot of meaning in your life is by making a meaningful impact, helping people in a meaningful way. That is also what you're being distracted from. So now, when you scroll your phone, hopefully it's going to be more obvious, like, oh, as I'm scrolling, it means I'm not helping people in a meaningful way. It means I'm not following my passions and my hobbies at the highest level and really enjoying them. I'm getting in a flow state. I'm being lit up and just excited by them. And it means I'm not recognizing the profound, mysterious miracle of this moment in front of me, of existence itself. Now that is something people don't talk about. So you're not being distracted from necessarily just running a business or making money or, developing yourself and building habits. Yes, that is true. You are being distracted from that. But really, more big picture, you're being distracted from enjoying your life at the highest levels, living an extremely meaningful and satisfying life, helping others in a very meaningful way. And you're being distracted from just recognizing the beauty, the mystery, the profundity, just the craziness of existence and how you can just be blown away by that every day. That's what you're being distracted from. So next time you go to scroll on your phone, notice it, put the fucking phone down, look around, be amazed, and then go do something you enjoy or go help someone. It's really that simple. There's not a lot to it, right? If you're running a business, then make it about how can I create the most meaningful impact I can with this business. If you realize you can't, switch up the business model. Just straight up switch it up, right? If you realize what I'm doing in business, I don't even enjoy, I hate this. Switch it up. Do something you enjoy. It might take a bit longer. Doesn't matter. What's the point in running a business if you hate it? And if you notice yourself going throughout day to day, taking everything for granted, taking this moment for granted, taking life, existence for granted, pause, look around, think for a second, man. How the fuck is this possible? How the fuck does anything exist? How? How? How does any of this exist? And then that should be enough to get the ball rolling. Like that's the big picture anyway. That is honestly what I believe you're working towards when you're trying to develop yourself, when you're trying to watch these videos and improve and live a good life, is you're trying to live a life that you enjoy. You're trying to live a meaningful life. And in my opinion, the best life is also a life where you recognize how beautiful, how profound, how mysterious, and what a miracle just this moment is without anything else added on. Without trying to improve your life, just the fact that you can appreciate existence is also, I think, something that you should be working towards. But yeah, you go think about that for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Hopefully this resonated in some way. Hopefully the distractions seem less tempting now, and hopefully now you have something better to do. Or at least maybe it's more obvious now that's something that's better to do. Because again, like I said, with addiction or distractions, most of the time it's just because you don't have something better to do, or you don't clearly recognize and feel it that you have something better to do in that moment. As soon as you feel like, oh, I'm wasting time, I could be doing this thing, that is the moment you're going to stop being distracted and you're going to get to work, or you're just going to get to enjoying your life even more. All right, that's it for this video. See you soon.